Cannibalism. Could you eat a whole human being? With the help of a doctor, a scientist and a chef, I set out to see if it's possible. Cannibalism. Part 2. Disposal. So many serial killers have tried and failed to dispose of a body. In 1949, John George Haig disposed of his 6th victim in a 40-gallon vat of sulfuric acid. With her body boiling at 337 degrees Celsius, within 48 hours, he had dissolved almost all of Olive Duran Deacon, except her foot, 18 small bones, 3 gallstones, and 28 pounds or 2 stone of body fat. He failed, as it takes a stronger acid than sulfuric to dissolve a human body. If he were to try it today in the United Kingdom, he'd be stumped, as it's illegal to buy anything stronger than a 15% solution of sulfuric acid without an EPP license. And yet, the human body has its own vat of acid, capable of disposing of human remains. The stomach is a work of biological wonder. At 12 inches long, 6 inches wide, 160 grams in weight, and encased in just a 5mm wall of muscle and mucosa, it secretes 1.5 litres of gastric juice a day. Made of lipase and pepsin, 2 enzymes which break down fats and proteins, and a lethal mix of hydrochloric acid, potassium chloride, and sodium chloride. It's so powerful, stomach acid can dissolve meat, bone, fat, and sinew. It can destroy all but 3 types of bacteria, and it can permanently erase tattoos, birthmarks, and scars. Although oddly, it can't digest the skin of peas, which is why, when you vomit, they come out whole. With a pH level of 1.5, it can dissolve most metals like zinc, magnesium, and copper. I know this as I once swallowed 48p. It can digest a whole bag of iron nails. And some crazy loons have even tested it by eating 5,000 light bulbs, 18 bicycles, and a Cessna airplane made of 2.5 tons of metal, wood, and rubber. Basically, your stomach is so powerful, if you wanted to, you could eat Robocop and poop him out. Albert Fish claimed that he ate Grace Budd's whole body in 9 days. And although he was prone to lying to torment his victims' families, is that possible? If you can eat a plane, surely you can eat a human. In 1897, Adolf Lugert, the sausage king of Chicago, tried to dispose of his wife Louisa in a makeshift stomach by dissolving her body in a vat of boiling lye and burning her fizzing remains in an oven. But again it failed, as several bones remained, as well as a rib, part of a skull, and a quantity of body fat. The strength of the human stomach isn't just down to acids and enzymes, but heat, movement, and digestion. The stomach of modern Homo sapiens has adapted to our changing diets as nomads, grazers, and apex predators. The stomach may look like a single bag, but it has 5 sections. The cardia, which stops the food going back up the esophagus. The fundus, which collects the digestive gases. The corpus, where the food is mixed with gastric acid. The antrum, which holds the partially digested food before sending it to the small intestine. And the pylorus, which controls the stomach's evacuation. But digestion isn't all about the stomach. It begins when you masticate the food in your mouth, making it easier to swallow. In the esophagus, this muscular tube acts like a giant wave, pulling the food down with muscles so powerful you can swallow standing on your head, which is why astronauts are still able to eat in zero gravity. Like a blender, your stomach churns the food with a mix of enzymes and acids at the right temperature and pH level, before its nutrients are absorbed in 28 feet of intestines. Able to digest 1 to 1.5 kilos of food at a time, food takes between 10 to 72 hours to pass from mouth to anus, with vegetables passing in 4 to 6 hours, red meat taking a whole day, and fat requiring the full transit. It's a process that Santiago Meza Lopez, the puzzle maker, mimicked. Working for a Tijuana drug cartel, he used the stomach's anatomy to work out how to dissolve a whole human being. And by filling a drum with 200 litres of water, adding 2 sacks of lye, heating it until it boiled, add in the bodies, and then stirring the bubbling and churning stew over 8 hours, more than 300 bodies vanished forever. And like the stomach, as what remained was waste product, he burned the remaining evidence with gasoline. So if our stomach is so dangerous that it can dissolve a human being, why doesn't it kill us? Simple. Each day we produce 2 pints of saliva to protect our teeth from acid, 1.5 litres of mucus to line the digestive system. And although the stomach is covered in a thick layer of mucosa, every 3 to 4 days our stomach lining is completely replaced. It's the youngest and freshest part of our bodies. So given what we know about the stomach, could we digest a human? With the help of a doctor, a scientist and a chef, all unnamed for obvious reasons, we set out to find a suitable victim. Someone of the right height, weight and body mass to get the calculations right. And to work out, if you tried to eat a whole human being, what parts you could eat, what bits are toxic, and how long it would take. Join me tomorrow as I introduce you to our voluntary victim, Steve.